at each other's throats and Pushing 10, one of 5 new movies we'll review this week. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times, and across the aisle from me is our guest critic this week, Harry Knowles of the Ain't It Cool News website in Austin, Texas. Welcome aboard.
It's a joy to be here with you, Raj.
Okay, our first movie is Pushing 10, which starts out filled with tension as we go backstage at a New York air traffic control center where controllers juggle airplanes like blips in a video game. They all think they're pretty great at their jobs, but John Cusack is top dog until a mysterious cowboy controller drifts in from out of the West. He's played by Billy Bob Thornton.
They say you stood on a runway in New Mexico and let a 747 part your hair with wake turbulence. That happened?
No.
That's what we thought.
No, that was in Arizona.
This new guy is a man of few words, but he fascinates the other controllers, and Cusack is bewitched by his sexy young wife. She's played by Angelina Jolie, a relative newcomer who is John Voight's daughter and has an exciting on-screen recklessness.
Tell me something, Mr. Felzone. Are there people who find you charming?
Well, they pretend because I try so hard.
Cusack considers himself happily married. His wife is played by this year's Oscar nominee, Cate Blanchett, who looks a lot different here than when she played Elizabeth I. The two couples have a touchy accidental meeting in a restaurant.
Do you play sports, Russell?
I used to bowl when I was an alcoholic.
Did it help?
The movie works well as long as the Billy Bob Thornton character retains his air of mystery and menace, but when the screenplay opens him up, the tension evaporates.
You're learning French?
Yeah. I like to learn new things.
Yeah, me too.
You speak it?
French? Me, no. No. I've always wanted to learn, though.
Pushing 10 is like a 3-part movie. Part 1 is filled with tension, aggression, and danger. Part 2 abandons the exciting stuff about air traffic controlling, which we haven't seen before, for colorful but routine stuff about adultery, which we have seen before. Why would you do that? And then Part 3 goes all soft and soapy with feel-good dialogue. It's like a quirky, edgy screenplay got attacked by self-help tapes. I'm giving the movie marginal thumbs up. I like the performances, but I wish that they'd stuck to their guns with the screenplay.
Well, I didn't like the movie much at all. No, it's one of the problems I had with it is it sort of reminded me of those 1970 wacky job films where, you know, you had like Car Wash and Mother Jugs and Speed and MASH. And in this, those movies had a tougher tension to them. I mean, the characters were funnier. The characters, you cared about them more. And in this film, you know, with the exception of Billy Bob to a degree, you know, you didn't really care about the characters. John Cusack's playing the same sort of neurotic guy we've seen before. Kate, you know, is wasted in the film.
You're right about one thing. This probably wants to be the MASH of air traffic controllers, but it's got that 90s studio boss audience survey ending where the people don't want an unhappy ending. Let's have them all stand around at the trout stream and talk about how we have to love one another. I hated the ending, but I still defend the first hour and a half of them, and especially even Angelina Jolie. I think she has a real energy that she brings to her scenes.
Angelina Jolie is the thing to look at in this film. The rest of it, you know, first of all, the idea of a movie about air traffic controllers that are watching blips on a screen is just, it's tedious to me.
Now those scenes were not tedious. When they're trying to get a plane in between two other planes, I found that interesting.
No, I didn't find it very interesting at all. Alrighty, our next film is Mighty Peking Man, a wonderfully surreal 1977 Hong Kong action movie starring a young Danny Lee as the adventurous explorer Johnny Fang, who sets out to capture and bring back alive a colossal monster. On his quest, Johnny is abandoned by his fellow big game hunters, leaving him alone to capture the beast and to end up being saved by Samantha, the Jungle Queen, played with convincing allure by Evelyn Kraft. Their romance is fueled by the many natural dangers in this bizarre jungle. Their love brings these two to civilization with Mighty Peking Man, where the monster is exploited and chained for mass entertainment. Though the film features the typical monster movie mayhem you would expect, I found myself actually caring about this strange creature.
Hey, look! It's Peking Man!
American versions of these giant monsters are often missing the kind of sheer destructive joy and insanity that really makes this film a standout. Sometimes it's just perfect to have a funky acting, a giant rubber ape suit, and costumes that can't quite contain the actors' ample physiques. Because all of these quirks become the positives that deserve and get my enthusiastic thumbs up.
Well, I liked it too. I like, for example, at the beginning there's an earthquake, and the earth doesn't shake, but the back projection shakes.
Right.
And then after a while, the camera shakes. And then eventually, the earth finally shakes.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you have this babe in her leopard skin bikini running around in the jungle, apparently has raised herself like Sheena, and is good friends with the ape. And I like the whole fact that the ape is so phony, and that the Tokyo, or in this case actually Peking, that he knocks over. Wait a minute, what does he knock over? Some big city. Is it Peking?
I don't think it's ever really
he's Peking,
determined.
man, but he's in India
right.
when he knocks over the city. Anyway, the city that he knocks over is obviously made out of cardboard, and sometimes phony effects like that are more fun than the perfect, sophisticated special effects in movies like Godzilla and Jurassic Park, where they just look like real monsters.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a midnight film. It's going to be showing around specialized theaters at midnight, and it's just wonderful to go and see this movie with that type of audience, because the audience will get into it. They have a lot of fun with the movie, and that's what's really needed in this type of film.
I know, you know, there's this theory that some movies are so bad they're good, but actually most movies that are so bad they're good are really just bad. And it takes a real kind of insane genius to really qualify. This qualifies, and also the same director, same producer, Runmi Shaw, made a movie the previous year called Inframan.
Yes,
that I think is even actually better than
Absolutely.
this.
Absolutely. I love Inframan. When I saw it as a kid, I died.
Okay, later in the show, David Spade is a romantic dog napper in Lost and Found. Coming up next, Matthew Broderick and Reese Witherspoon in Election.
Tracy.
Ethics are rules of conduct.
Tracy Flick. Tracy Flick. I'd seen a lot of ambitious students come and go over the years, but Tracy Flick, she was a special case.
Reese Witherspoon plays a smart overachiever named Tracy, and Matthew Broderick is her teacher and advisor in Election, a surprisingly hard-edged high school comedy. Witherspoon, who swings back and forth between lighter and darker roles, is a real vixen this time. Her character, Tracy, is brainy and manipulative and will do anything to be elected student council president. That includes brown-nosing teacher Broderick.
When I win the presidency, that means you and I are going to be spending a lot of time together, and I, for one, would really like that time to be harmonious and productive.
Broderick doesn't like Tracy and blames her for getting his best friend fired, so he talks Paul, a slow-talking football hero played by Chris Klein, into running against her.
I don't know anything about that stuff, Mr. M. And I mean, besides, that's Tracy Flick's thing. She's always working so hard at it.
Yeah, no, she's a real go-getter, all right.
And she's super nice.
Yeah.
Tracy goes ballistic when she finds out.
Who put you up to this?
What do you mean?
You just woke up this morning and suddenly decided to run for president?
Meanwhile, a surprise candidate appears. Jessica Campbell plays Paul's sister Tammy, a budding lesbian and complete outsider who joins the race out of spite.
The same pathetic charade happens every year. And everyone makes the same pathetic promises just so they can put it on their transcripts to get into college. So vote for me, because I don't even want to go to college. And I don't care. And as president, I won't do anything.
There have been a lot of high school comedies this spring, maybe a dozen depending on how you define high school, but this one and Cruel Intentions stand outside the crowd for a lot of reasons, including surprising frankness about sex. Election nonchalantly uses four-letter words and suggests a lot of sexual activity, and its portrait of faculty politics is unusually realistic. It's a tough, smart little movie. Reese Witherspoon really stands out as this really unlikable and ambitious character, and I liked it.
Oh, I mean, between this and her work in Pleasantville, she is really emerging into quite a young actress. I really loved this movie. I mean, it's, you know, one of the things about it is just with War Games and with Ferris Bueller's Day Off, this is sort of like the third end of Matthew Broderick's, what I call his high school trilogy, you know, because
he's a teacher now.
Yeah, now he's a teacher. We've seen him go all the way through, and like he said in the film about his buddy, some people don't want to ever leave high school. And that's what I really like, is it's bringing him back into it, and he's perfect in this role.
He's very good as a teacher, and also I like the fact that the movie takes him to an unexpected place at the end.
Right.
This is one high school movie that doesn't end at the senior prom, and it's not about who's going to get a date.
No.
And Reese Witherspoon is so right here as this. She's always got her hand up in class. She's always sticking her hand up. She has the answer.
Look on her
call
face.
on me, call on me. I have all the answers. I know exactly how everything works, and she doesn't. And it's much more mature than a lot of high school pictures.
You know, it's a film that I really miss from like the early 80s when we had stuff like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And this really sort of harkens back to that, but I mean, it's even more edgy than that movie was.
Okay, it's a good one. Coming up next, David Spade looks for love among the lost and found.
Oh, are you all right? Hi. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
You didn't. There's nothing.
That was David Spade, starring as Dylan, a love-struck dognapper out to steal his way into Sophie Marceau's heart in Lost and Found. A film that plays out like there's something about Mary, but without the intensity of laughs or the soul of that film. The movie features Mad TV's Artie Lang, who seems to be trying to fill in for Spade's old partner, Chris Farley, as an admiring colleague who shadows Spade throughout the film, hoping to become just like his razor-tongued idol. As for Dylan, he becomes entranced by Lila after returning her troublesome dog, Jack.
He was way over on the pier.
Oh, you bad dog. I should spank you.
Ooh, hey, I was way over on the pier, too. I was kidding. I mean, I was over there, but that was a joke. Maybe not.
So Dylan decides to kidnap Jack, thus giving him a chance at Lila while they search together for the cute little pooch.
Wet clothes. And boots.
That's not a shoe in the dryer, is poor little Jack. In addition to the excess of cruelty to little Jack, we have not one, but 4 colorful randy old lady characters, just like Cameron Diaz's neighbor in There's Something About Mary.
I'll see you your socks and raise you your shorts.
You couldn't raise my shorts with a crane. Besides, you're bluffing.
Lost and Found isn't a terrible film, but it's not all that great either. I wouldn't spend $7.50 to see it, and I'm glad I didn't. I hope that David Spade finds a worthy comedic partner soon, because in this film, he felt like Bud Abbott without his Costello, and that left me with a lukewarm thumbs down.
I'm more than lukewarm. I'm boiling hot thumbs down. I thought this movie was terrible, so I guess I liked it even less than you did, and I think it's a strategic error to make David Spade into a romantic lead, because Spade's whole persona on the screen is ironic detachment. He stands outside and he looks, and he's the wise guy, and he'd be great in some movie about a college guy or a guy in some corporation who's always sniping at everyone. But here, where he's supposed to be sincere and love this woman, I didn't believe a second of it.
Well, when I said he's Abbott and he's missing his Costello, it's absolutely right. Costello was the one in love, and Abbott's always the guy who's sitting there going, you know, why are they in love with this guy? You know, he's a fat little turkey. What? I should be the leading guy in this movie. And that's the way his character should be. And in this, they just ruined it, you know?
I know. And, you know, another thing, too, everybody in this movie is so stupid. I mean, this is the quintessential idiot plot, where everything could be solved in 1 second. For example, that woman never notices that her dog is right across the areaway. He takes the dog out, takes the dog in, walks the dog in the park. He's walking around with a dozen pooper scoopers hanging off his belt, and she never figures out, gee, he doesn't have a dog.
You know what I really wanted? Imagine if Sophie Marceau had played a rude French lady that was absolutely loathsome, and then David Spade found her being the rude American. That might have been something.
This entire movie is on autopilot, parts on hire. Okay, next movie. Our next movie is named SLC Punk, and it claims to be about the only 2 punkers in Salt Lake City in 1985. It gets most of its energy by scoring easy shots against conservative Utah values, but oddly enough, this movie shares some of the same underlying values in its own twisted way. It's not about bad people. SLC Punk centers on the nonstop energy of Matthew Lillard as Steve-O, who somehow graduated from college and now spends his time hanging out and getting high.
I'm leaving. I'm going to Notre Dame.
Mike, how could you do that?
I'm 18. I gotta go to college.
Mike, I'm gonna miss you, man. It's gonna suck around here without you.
What's your major gonna be, dude? Botany. What's that?
Plants.
The whole movie is told in that style, with Steve-O acting as a tour guide and narrator for his worldview. Here he is on the problems of buying beer in Utah.
See now, this teller, right, he's not just a teller, he's a cop. I mean, this guy right there, he's a cop. So we buy beer, me and Bob, and this guy's calling a squad car to follow us home. Because one look at us and he knows, gosh, those guys are gonna be trouble.
Bob's girlfriend is played by Annabeth Gish, and she introduces Steve-O to a girl he instantly falls in love with, even though she challenges him on everything.
You want to be an individual, right? You look like you're wearing a uniform. I mean, you look like a punk. That's not rebellion.
That's fashion.
I liked this movie. I liked its energy. I liked its humor. I liked the passion of the performance by Matthew Lillard, who creates a character who is tough and punk on the outside and intelligent and very uncertain on the inside. The movie was written and directed by James Marandino, who on a small budget has painted a rich portrait of a time and a place.
I didn't care for the film.
Oh, come on.
No, I didn't. I sort of have a thing against Matt Lillard. I just don't care for the guy all that much. But there was a couple scenes that really got me into the film that I wish the film would have expanded upon.
Okay.
There's the one scene where you have the flashback that's where the younger kids, and it's the moment where all of a sudden they decide to, this is
That's
the
a
path
great
they're
scene.
going. It's a great
Yeah,
scene.
they give up Dungeons and Dragons.
Right, and I think that scene hurt the overall film for me because when I saw it, it was so tonally perfect that I wish the rest of the film, I wish I had seen those kids turn into those characters. I wanted to see, you know, that story instead of just, you know, punks in that story, right? You know, I wanted to see how these people, how these normal sort of geeky kids became punks, got lost in this whole world.
I think you can kind of understand that because the kid brings in a record. He says, listen to this. And it's a different kind of music. Matthew Lillard, now he usually in movies plays people who you're not supposed to like very much.
Right.
Here, I really liked his performance. I felt that what he was trying to do also was a tour guide. He walks through a party and he tells you who all the people are and what their stories are. It's kind of sociological.
I just didn't care for him that much.
Okay, when we come back, my video pick of the week is one of last year's top movies, I think, although a lot of people missed it.
On the Week is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. At the movies or at home, Raisinets.
My video pick this week is one of the best films of last year, A Soldier's Daughter Never Cries, which is based on the memories of Kaylee Jones, the daughter of the novelist James Jones, whose Thin Red Line also inspired a movie last year. A Soldier's Daughter Never Cries recalls a childhood spent in exile. It's the story of an American novelist and his wife who raised their children in an unconventional lifestyle in Paris in the 1960s. Chris Christopherson and Barbara Hershey star as hard-drinking bohemians who give their kids a lot of freedom, but also a lot of guidance and encouragement.
In my hometown, kids were having sex with girls when they were 10. They were girls from the poor side of town. So I'm just saying, boys are going to be interested in you. And they're ready and willing to go all the way.
Your father isn't urging you to have sex. He's just warning you can get pregnant now. It's easier than you can imagine.
Christopherson has a real presence as the hard-living novelist, and there's a remarkable supporting role for Anthony Roth Costanzo as a fellow student who loves the opera and loves grand, large gestures.
So Tosca runs away from them. She goes to the top of the parapet. She looks up and she says,
Then the family moves back to America, where the father gives his daughter the benefit of some life lessons.
Say no to those guys till you find someone you really like. Then come and talk to me. All right?
And that's Lili Sobieski, a rising young actress who's wonderful in the key role of the daughter trying to understand a man who is both a genius and a dad with problems of his own. A Soldier's Daughter Never Cries was directed by James Ivory, who was often more drawn to movies inspired by writers like Henry James and E.M. Forster, but here he's made one of his best films. It's on tapes and discs, and it's my video pick of the week. Take another look at the movies we reviewed this week. We split on Pushing Tim with John Cusack and Billy Bob Thornton as air traffic controllers. Harry thought it was uninteresting and routine. I liked the performances a lot, but thought the ending lost it. We both laughed at Mighty Peking Man, a 1977 Hong Kong monster movie that rises to a kind of crazy, demented weirdness. We also admired the tough high school politics in Election with Reese Witherspoon surprisingly hard-edged as the overachiever in a student election. 2 thumbs down for David Spade in Lost and Found, a romantic comedy about characters who frankly might not be smart enough to fall in love. And finally, we disagreed on SLC Punk. I liked its edgy energy. Harry disliked Matthew Lillard's performance. So the one I liked the most, I guess, was Election with SLC Punk coming in there.
Well, I also really love Election, but, you know, if you got it showing at midnight, Mighty Peking Man's the one to go check out.
I laughed a lot. And Harry, thanks a lot for being here this week. It was fun.
It was my pleasure.
Okay, I'll see you on the web. Remember, you can hear our reviews on the web at Siskel-Ebert.com, part of Go Network. Next week, reviews of more new movies, including Entrapment with Catherine Zeta-Jones, hard on the trail of art thief Sean Connery. That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.
Sponsored by...
Inside every Hot Pockets ham and cheese are slices of tender smoked ham, real cheddar cheese, and a crispy, crusty, tender, flaky crust.
What are you gonna pick?
Hot Pockets.